Class 3 again then for race number 8. Trip here 1650. With 14 of them going to post. They're headed by Warm the Voice, who chased home Rickfield last time out. Rickfield scoring at over 170 to 1. Good Beauty makes his all-weather debut. Volpino dead heated in 5th place last time out behind Buddies, who runs earlier on the card. Bear Slam was 4th last time out behind Rickfield, gets a £6 turnaround. We move down to Rule the Roost, also coming out of the Rickfield race. He finished 7th. Farshad makes his all-weather debut here in Hong Kong, and Willie Way, a 3-time winner on the surface. He's getting pretty close to a class drop here. Only one of those has been coursing distance. Good Beauty, Chunghwa Spirit and Perfect to Play have been up at Chung Fa, along with Rule the Roost, Clear Choice and Farshad. The big grow actually ran okay last time out. Let's have a look at the speed map, Brett.
Yeah, a lot of these raced each other last time on that wet, slobby track, and it was obviously those that came wide and late that got the money. Vigor Fame might lead them up here from Clear Choice and a Good Beauty, obviously going onto this surface for the first time. Are there any from wider out that want to roll forward? We'll have to wait and see. But Rickfield, Willie Way, they're generally back markers. Warm the Voice came from back in the field last start, barrier 14, so Good to Slow does look potentially the pace.
Vigor Fame, he was really keen here, this particular piece of work in the morning, and he goes really nicely here. He looks like he's ready to go. The tongue tie will come off him, and the cross noseband as well. Jack Wong will take them out. Clear Choice, nice quiet piece of work for him, but gee, he doesn't get much luck with the barriers, Clear Choice. He's out to barrier number 10 on this occasion. And saying that he did draw a 3 last time, but he's 10 there, and he's just doing some nice quiet work. And good old Willie Way, I thought I'd show him. He sometimes can be a bit of a forgotten horse. He showed a lot early in his career. He's a 5-time winner, and he's getting right down in the ratings now, down to a rating of 61.
I'll just interrupt the handball from Paul to you, and I wanted to mention Farshad in that speed map, but we didn't get a chance. Remember at the Valley last start, he went back, but Alex Lai couldn't hold him. He probably should have gone forward initially, but then he did roll forward, and then he ran all over the place and eventually ran a good race. So he's another potential speed option in the race. He's
in single figures at the moment, Farshad. We'll have a look at him a moment or so. We'll start off, though, with Rickfield and Warm the Voice. You'll enjoy this if you had either of them. If you had both of them, you're probably still celebrating.
This is the biggest quinella I think I've ever seen. 13,000, nearly 14,000 it paid for these two, running 1-2. How much do we take out of this race? That's the question. Everything that sat deep on the day ended up going on and winning. I thought the run from Bear Slam was terrific. I thought the run prior to this from Bear Slam was fabulous as well. We're going to go back onto a drier track. I think that's in the advantage of Bear Slam. But look at the margin between him there and those first two. It's big
asterisks, isn't it, next to that race for me. But look, Bear Slam's the one I've taken out of it as well after that. I'm just a bit worried about the form there. I mean, Warm the Voice did everything well.
I honestly don't know. I mean, Rickfield, he's a nice horse. You know, we'd want a Happy Valley. He's looked good doing it, you know. So the price might have just been an anomaly sort of thing.
Well, he's always, at the Valley, he's been one of those 1,800-metre types when there's an early move, or he makes the early move once he won like that, and sort of went on to win in the same fashion as he did there on the all-weather. But in dry conditions, it might be a bit more difficult to achieve.
It'd be a big price again. I think punters will let him go. What's he, 16 to 1 now?
It's a long way to get to 170, though. But Bear Slam, Rule the Roost, Volpino and Chunghwa Spirit we'll take a check on next.
Yeah, well, let's go back and have a look at the dry run from Bear Slam. So this was a really good performance when second behind Buddies, who runs earlier on in the day, chased hard here and then ran a creditable 4th behind Rickfield in the race we just saw. Gets a good barrier. There were a few runs from him last season as well on the dirt that were suggesting he was close to a win. And I think he's very close and gets his opportunity.
Yeah, I've got him in there, and I've also got the Rule the Roost in there once again. I thought he hit the most
follow for you.
Yeah, so they're both in there.
All right, Good Beauty. Now, another debutant here, but he's by hard spun and comes here in reasonable form too.
I've been bleating on about this horse, waiting for him to get on the all-weather, and I haven't tipped him, and he's won 2 races on the turf while that's happened. He finally gets on the all-weather, so I think he's well placed. He's in good form, barrier number 3. By hard spun, he's really well bred for it. Always works really well on the surface, so I'm going to go with him.
Fair enough. I've got him in for 3rd as well. Yeah. When he has won, he's looked quite impressive, and he's often taken the liking to a little bit of rain that's been around. Even though the tracks haven't been rated as good to yielding, there has been a bit of cushion around, and he's like that. So coming onto the dirt should be perfect.
Yeah. All right, Farshad we look at now. This is the run you were talking about a moment or so Brett, he's a listed winner in France before arriving, but he's yet to break through here in Hong Kong.
Well, Alex was out of the gates, obviously, probably instructed to go back, and he was just too keen, the horse, and eventually he just had to cut the ribbons, and he let him go, and he sort of went the long way about it, but he still battled on here, and he was lucky to miss out on getting a spot there. I think, did he get...
Well, he was third, but then demoted.
Yeah, that's right, because he caused some interference, but it was a pretty decent run. I think if they let him roll here from 16.50 early, then he'll be right up on the pace for sure. If they restrain him, he'll probably resent it again and take off midfield.
Yeah, he's a bit of a rogue.
He's going to be hard to handle.
I didn't put him in, but it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Alex knows the horse well now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he's got a minor spot for me. Farshad. Clear Choice and Perfect to Play we're having a look at. Now they're up at Chung Fa.
Yeah, look, I've put Clear Choice on a very minor line here. As I mentioned, 2 starts ago, he was actually withdrawn. He drew wide on that occasion, but there was something wrong with him, as it turned out. But he's drawn 10 again. He'll get back. But he's a horse that has gone well on the surface before. He's only had 3 goes on it. It's been placed. Perfect to Play did everything right here as well. You can see the hold he's under when he comes down. So 2 interesting runners for me.
Both unacceptable performances last start in race 74, which is that one we've highlighted already a few times on the all-weather. Rainy conditions, won by Rickfield. Yeah. Warm the Voice ran second. So they had legitimate excuses. They've gone back to the trials and performed satisfactorily. All
right. Tricky race, this one for me, Paul, but you're with Good Beauty?
Yeah, I'm going with Good Beauty. I've sort of been going on about this horse a little bit, about waiting to get on the surface and let him go, and he's won, and now he's on the surface. I don't want to let him go. So he's on top. Rule the Roost. I made a horse to follow. I think he can go nicely as well. Bear Slam, he's doing everything right, and a win from him is not too far away. He'll get a nice run from barrier 2 of Joe Moreira aboard as well. And I'll throw Clear Choice in. I think he had excuses in that wet slop last time. He has drawn wide, so he'll get back and he'll be the one running on late. But it's a nice race, this one. I went 3, 11, 8 and 12.
Yep, I'm hoping you're right, Paul. I think it is a nice race too. A nice race for Bear Slam. I think from the low barrier, he can step away OK, not have to use too many petrol tickets, hopefully, to position up. Maybe just fractionally better than midfield. Off the fence is probably ideal. Hope Farshad whips around them, puts the pace on, and then he can drag into it nicely as they corner for home. So him on top. I think Rule the Roost might follow him through the race. Good Beauty's got a nice draw, and obviously on this surface looks a positive. And Vigour Fame, if Farshad doesn't go forward, then Vigour Fame will be probably left alone and is sometimes underrated in a situation like that. And on the dirt, I wanted to include him. So 8, 11, 3 and 4, but I'm happy to go pretty hard on the 8 as the one to beat.
All right, yeah, I've got Bear Slam in as well, but Vigour Fame will be my value runner for the day, because the trial was actually... It was an unacceptable performance last time out, so he's got to bounce back from that, but the trial was OK with Elusive State.
And he had pressure last start too, a reason to fold.
Soft lead probably being the key, though. If he gets that, we might get a decent run for our money. All right, that was race number 8. One more race to go, plus all the best bets. That comes up next.